We gotta do the slap.
What's up, guys?
Always gotta do the slap.
Are you done? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are at beautiful Lehigh Lanes, and if this place looks familiar to you, we did the string pin video here. Very first string pin video. We've come back. The owners have graciously allowed us to come practice and film some videos here today. And today is going to be a very interesting video. We are going to test how surface affects ball reaction on string pins. We'll be going on the house shot on this right lane here at lane 12. We're going to see the do's, the don'ts, all the good, all the bad, of how surface affects the ball reaction that we have on this lane. The last video that we did was about a year ago, so if you haven't seen it, go check that out. It's our very first thoughts of what string pins kind of are. This is a brand new AMF string pins. We had some very interesting takes on what our first thoughts were. We're back here a year later. They have some wear and tear on them, so we're gonna see how today goes. We're gonna be throwing the same ball, the Phase AI, on this house shot, different surfaces. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start off here. I'm gonna be playing rather straight because I'm throwing a shinier ball on a 42 or 43 foot house shot. Obviously pretty fresh, we haven't really broken it down, and I'm just gonna be my normal speed and stuff, and we'll see what happens. So far, so good.
So we are just starting with both of the Phase AIs out of box. We're going to then bring them down to 2,000 and then 500, but we're gonna blow the first 5 frames with them just out of box. I just tripped out the split.
Hell yeah.
Hey, that's right there is a good example of how some of the pins can be affected by the strings. That was actually a great thing for me to do.
All right, first spare off the cruise. Spare.
Not gonna lie, I thought I chopped it.
So I wonder how this is gonna affect it. We were just told that on open play, the strings are shorter, and then when you put it on league, the strings get longer. So I don't know if we were practicing when the strings were longer, so this is gonna be interesting to see. Haven't really seen much of a difference, so I think we were practicing when the longer strings were in effect, so that's good. My next shot, I'm gonna just make a drastic move since we are doing 5 frame increments. I'm gonna go like 4 or 5, drop the speed down, see what happens the next shot.
So my adjustments, I'm going to throw it better on this shot.
Oh, little snap.
Pretty sure I would have left A10 if it wasn't a string pin, but we're gonna have to go back and check the tapes on that one.
Oh God. Yeah, I got that right pretty quick.
I can assure you that if you miss this, the string does not affect it.
I'm gonna start saying that to you.
Okay.
First spare off the cruise, we're good.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was my first good shot off the cruise.
Nice. Let's move a little bit more. I feel like I was in that in-between zone with that ball speed. So I'm just gonna go left. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see there. Obviously, since we are blowing off the heavier volume, longer house shot, I didn't expect that to strike. If it would have, that would have been great. But obviously, you know, string pins didn't affect anything. I just think I need to, once I get to this part of the lane, surface is probably going to be a more ideal ball reaction.
Did you
Stay tuned for a 710 video.
I smacked all 10.
You sure did.
So far, so good.
We got one more shot. I'm going to stay in that same spot, but I'm going to make the ball read sooner. I'm going to tuck my pinky and hit it a little bit harder. See if we can get the 10 pin out. If if I was gonna stay there with the current surface that I have, the goal is to do exactly that. Speed a little bit down, tuck my pinky to get the ball started a little bit sooner, and that would probably be a good result. I could play further out and be okay with my softer hand, or I can move in and really catch on it. So these next 5 frames, we're gonna bring the surface to 2000 by hand and see if I really have to make the ball work as much. Elise decided to jump the gun and say, screw it, we're doing it now.
You were jabbering your mouth over there, so we don't have time for that on this channel. So as always, I just like to remind those who might not know, when you are adding surface to the bowling ball, you do need to take your towel afterwards and wipe it off. It is a rule. Plus, you want to make sure that you wipe it off so that way your ball gets closer to the reaction that you're actually going to get. Because if you leave that residue on there, it is going to read pretty early.
Elise is not going to make the same mistake and hit her ball at surface and not move.
Well,
I think she says she's going to move. She's going to be a good girl.
I'm going to be a good girl, and I'm going to move like 3 and 2. Should be enough, hopefully. So as you can see, even though it was my first shot, that was still already a little bit lazier through the pins. Now it was striking. I'm just getting the 5 into the 7 now, which we know is my favorite. But we'll see if I can actually continue to get that, because I could see that turning into a light 7 pretty quick for me with this surface. I tend to see that on string pins, I need to really get my ball into that roll phase and getting pretty sharp off the back in the pattern, as those light hits don't carry as well for me on string pins. But we'll see, maybe I'm wrong.
So this shot here, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Bring the speed down, really hit it hard just so you guys can see the difference. Now you're probably saying, like, Nate, that really wasn't a big difference. Well, all the difference happened was in the front part of the lane. I saw my ball pick up very quick. The ball picked up really soon, and if you notice through the pins, it wasn't really that sideways kind of domino effect. It was more 10 straight back, pushing all the pins back. It went through the 8-9. So I noticed my ball front to back is picking up a little bit quicker.
I do want to say one thing about the AI. I know this isn't a ball video, but I have noticed that this ball is really good with different surface changes. It definitely works well with a lot of different styles, which, like I said in another video, that's why I wanted to drill this one specifically. I haven't drilled a lot of SPI pieces lately, but this one definitely caught my eye because of that. I gotta have something that is more versatile when I'm adding it into my arsenal. So don't be afraid to hit this ball with some surface if you're not liking the reaction right out of the box. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, should I try to pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Bounce? Oh, it tried to bounce.
All right, so now I'm going to stay in the same spot, and I'm not going to tuck my pinky. I'm still going to keep the ball speed down. Just untuck the pinky. And as you can see right there, if you really slow down the video and really watch what's going on, the first shot that I threw really read up in the front and kind of like bled off. This one saved a little bit more energy and kicked more down lane because I didn't make it read so quickly in the front part of the lane. So this is actually like a really nice refresher for me as well. When the ball is at polish and I really needed to stand up quicker, it's not necessarily standing up so drastically in the front part of the lane. It's still saving its energy and just kicking more down lane. Whereas where I get the surface on it, it likes to read a little bit quicker and be smoother in the back. And then when I untuck my pinky, the opposite happens. So hopefully you guys saw that, and hopefully that's very helpful.
I'm moving up the hill. I'm making a 1-and-1.
Oh boy.
Wow. God, what did I do while I was on the cruise? I'm just like
Couple extra
gripping it and
workout
gripping it
sessions.
today.
Yeah.
What?
Couple extra workout sessions.
Yeah. Working my hand to my mouth at the buffet. Even though my ball is coming in a little bit high, I am starting to like this reaction a little bit better than straight out of the box through the pins. It's showing me that I have a little bit more room front to back. So I definitely had to stay further right to have the back part of the lane with it polished. Now I'm able to get my ball to transition a lot better. Obviously I still need to make a little bit more move, but I actually do feel a little bit more confident in this ball reaction. I like what I'm seeing at the pin deck.
All right, so that was a 4-board move there, and I still had my pinky untucked, and I still kept the ball speed slower. With the added surface on it, this ball is gonna have no problem, obviously digging through the oil, still retaining a lot of energy down lane. I know what you guys wanna see. I'm gonna move back right here in the 9th frame, bring the ball speed up, just to see if I have better or worse ball reaction. Elise found her ball.
Yeah, it's difficult out here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the person, if you are throwing the same ball as me on the lane, I will 100% pick up your ball at least 3 times when you're bowling.
Yep.
It is a fact. I'm going to make another 2-in-1 and see if I can still strike and not leave a 4-pin. I just untied my shoe. I stepped on my shoelace. I was nervous. And we're back. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was afraid of. More I open my launch angles, what I've noticed from last video to this, even with the surface, now that the surface is making my ball reaction a little bit smoother, it gives me that reaction where the 4-pin was still laying on the deck. And I don't know if that would happen with regular pins. As we normally see with free fall carry, the pins don't tend to stay on the deck. And if they do, they tend to slide. I'm thinking I might be able to carry that a little bit more. Those are the questions we're asking as bowlers. How many times out of 100 is that going to happen where it might have gone that light hit? Now, light hits are still considered a little bit lucky, but it is about having the best ball reaction, where then it kind of comes down to making better shots and knowing, as we're showing you guys today, does your surface match up with what the pins are asking you to do?
So now we're gonna go back to where I started. I'm going to obviously up the ball speed since I'm a little scared that this is gonna overhook. Not the greatest shot, but as you can see, it is picking up rather faster. That's why we get the split that we do. So it's gonna be more of a test that I could actually make this. Put the string pins to the test here. I'm gonna try to make it normal, but if something hits it, we'll know. About normal.
All right, that one I got the head pin into the 7-pin. Those are those shots that I just like wonder. That shot wasn't too different from the last one. I might have hit it a little bit more, but I got a completely different reaction. I got that head pin into the 7-pin versus that 4-pin kind of staying in front of it. Definitely, you guys will see during this video, I'm interested to see what we're seeing, if that is making a difference, whether, you know, that would have made a huge difference in my score right there versus having 230. I still would have had like 250. So that's a big difference when we're talking about, you know, winning games, needing those extra hits to get further in tournaments. I don't know, it's a weird thing. And I do think that the surface is definitely making a big difference, because I do think that, like, if I still had that polish on it, it would be standing up a little bit quicker and going stronger through the pins versus the surface that I'm at now. So this is where it's like, is it better to keep 2 of the same ball at different surfaces when bowling on string pins? I know we do that a little bit on free fall, but it might even be more prevalent when bowling on string pins in a tournament competition. Oh no, can I strike out to beat Nate by 1?
So yeah, there's several things that we have to take into consideration when we're doing a test like this. One, we're bowling by ourselves. So there's not as much traffic, and we're breaking the lanes down on how we want them to. So scores can tend to be higher. You know, we don't necessarily know what it's going to be like if there were 5 people on this pair, whether, you know, the carry would be the same, whether the scoring pace would be the same, lower, higher, you name it. So that's one thing we have to remember. I'm going to go to an extreme. I'm going to keep going left. I'm going to go another 5. And I'm really going to create a ton of axis rotation to test the entry angle. So I'm going to really get my hand around the side of the ball. I'm going to get it to the right. I'm going to see if there's any difference. Honestly, like right there, I was expecting a wrap 10. I think a year ago on the newer pins, it probably would have wrapped 10. But I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Also, if you guys haven't already checked out DH Labs, this is definitely a ball spinner that can help you put that surface on your bowling ball.
Link in the description.
Link in the description. Check them out. They have any color you could want. You can customize this, but they're really, really cool. And as always, protect your bowling balls.
Is that a ball change? That's a ball change. If you want to know a little bit more about that bowling ball, make sure to hit that subscribe button and go check out our second channel. We're dropping something pretty interesting there of this bowling ball. I'm not going to give it away yet, but you guys will have to see, so hit that subscribe button to find out. My final thoughts, one thing that I forgot to touch on, we also have to remember where we're bowling. In this environment, obviously it hooks a lot from everywhere. The front panel tends to hook a lot, down lane tends to hook a lot. This place is a very high friction center, so we also have to remember where we are bowling at. You know, there are some string pins in different bowling centers across the country that play a little bit tighter, so we do have to take that into consideration. But for what we saw today, entry angle's looking good. Whether it's surface or not surface, you just have to have the right bowling ball. That's my conclusion. Right bowling ball, right surface in order to get the proper ball reaction. If you don't have proper ball reaction at all, whether you're bowling on string pins or regular pins, you're not going to get the highest score. So today, bowling on the year-old string pins, I think we're seeing some progress. I don't mind it for the house shot that we were bowling on, so I think it's all right. I think this could go in the right direction, but there needs to be a little bit more testing, a lot more to actually see, is this the way to go in our sport? The bad thing is we can't send any messengers, not as many, so
Nate's sad.
I would miss that, but I don't mind striking. Shout out to Lehigh Lanes for letting us do this. We're gonna let Elise finish and I'm gonna stop talking.
You were trying to ice me, I already know it.
Not Elise over here frying out because she thinks I'm icing her.
No, I know, this man never talks.
I'm just trying to provide you guys with good information.
Yeah.
What we got, Elise? Oh yeah, can opener. Bang bang boomerang.
Call me Andy Warhol.
What the hell does that mean?
He's like the guy that paints, you know, the Campbell's cans.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
I just taught Nate that apparently, again, for the 15th time in his life. I'm sure you guys
I still don't know
know.
your reference, but whatever.
I'm sure people in the comments will. I know he's shaking over there.
Yeah, I'm shaking.
Can't ice me.
Yeah, okay. And we're cutting to the next clip. Guys, imagine if she like stones eight.
Oh
right
my
here.
God, doing the one board challenge?
Oh, and I won by one. I won by one.
No, I wanted the channel to
Let's
know
go.
that Nate's so good.
All the Nate fans, we got one.
The strings might have saved me from a bucket. So I actually went from 6 to 8 on that. Again, it'll be interesting to see. You guys will be seeing right now what it looks like with the closer video of it. But I do think I would have probably bucketed with free fall pins compared to the strings. It might have helped me kick some stuff around. I don't know, you guys will see right now. But yeah, overall, we're gonna see we're gonna throw a couple shots with the 500. Just see if it does make it a little bit harder to carry. Because I know some of you guys do throw surface on your bowling ball right out the rip because that's what works for you. The whole point of this video was to kind of show you that, especially with string pins, you need to be a little bit better at really making sure you have the good ball motion so that way you can get your ball through the pins. We don't have any messengers happening. We don't have the pins rolling around the deck, which those are the ones that typically help us get those extra hits in a game. We're not gonna get those as often. So this is why it's super important to really know what your ball is doing at the back of the pin deck. So we're not talking about what's actually happening when the ball is going through the 1-3. You really have to pay attention to where the ball is exiting. I'm gonna make Nate put the 500 on it and then we'll be right back. You guys will see a couple of shots, but thank you guys for watching. We can't thank you guys enough for all the love and support. Make sure you check out our second channel. We got to 1,000 subscribers over there. Obviously, we want more, so don't unsubscribe over there. If you guys started with us on this channel, you know that every 1,000 subscribers until we hit 10, we gave something away. If you guys haven't already checked out our new merch, that might be something we'll give away to a lucky subscriber on our second channel. If you haven't already checked it out, go ahead and check it out down here in the description as well. I know we threw a lot at you guys today, but we have a lot going on. We've been on vacation, so we're back, baby. And we got a lot of bowling coming up this week. Thank you guys for watching. Let's see what 500 does.